which goes to the long windup of this question to tee up our immigration section, which is on the one hand, there's all this real stuff, right? Yeah. But on the other hand, there's all of this confusion, demagoguery, emotional displacement, if you want to call it that. Yep. What do you see today, given your deep knowledge, and as Barrett walked us through the organizations in the government you ran, how do you view this problem? What level is it at? And how do you separate the real crises around it from what has become a highly polarized and at times discriminatory conversation in part of American politics?
Immigration is the most difficult issue, not because there are no answers. Sometimes with difficult issues, there are no good answers. There are solutions and answers to the immigration problem, but because the issue is so politicized and migrants are so demonized and villainized, and because there is so much misinformation around the issue, it is impossible to get anything done. And to get anything meaningful done for immigration reform, you have to have acts of Congress, and to have acts of Congress, you have to have a bipartisan support for it. And to give you a sense of how overly politicized it is, and how polarized people are, we can't even work on a common set of facts or vocabulary in talking about the problem. So I was on MSNBC in late March, and I said, I know what 60,000 a month looks like, because that's what I live with, and I know what over 1,000 apprehensions a day looks like, but I cannot begin to imagine what 4,000 in a day and 100,000 a month looks like. This is truly a crisis, quote unquote. And that one quote went viral in right-wing media. And when I went over to Fox for an interview, oh, thank you for what you said. Thank you so much. I said, what did I say? You said it was a crisis. No Democrat will acknowledge it's a crisis. They say it's a manufactured crisis. I said, well, you know, a flood is a flood, a hurricane's a hurricane, this is a crisis. But very few people on the right are willing to listen to what the solutions are. As you point out, as you noted, immigration was Donald Trump's #1 campaign issue. That was the central theme of his campaign. And if you look at the numbers and you look at his performance in office on this issue, you know, he likes to give himself A's. He gets an F on his #1 issue because apprehensions on our southern border, as we speak, are the highest they have been in years. Immigration, illegal immigration, is a market-sensitive phenomenon. It reacts sharply to information in the information marketplace, very often put out by the smugglers, to perceived or real changes in enforcement policy. As long as the push factors persist in Central America, the poverty and the violence, and now on top of that, the drought, which is decimating the coffee market in Central America, as long as the underlying push factors exist, the patterns will always revert back to their longer-term trends. So because the underlying conditions continue in Central America. So you have to address the push factors, which is why I think the Alliance for Prosperity is so important. We started that investment in 2016 with what was really a drop in the bucket, $750 million appropriated by Congress, and the numbers have been going in the wrong direction. But if you ask anybody in DHS or CBP who understands the nature of the problem, they will tell you that the money that we had begun to invest was already beginning to make a difference.
Right.